everyone. Welcome back to all my listeners. This is episode number 16 of season 9. Today is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. My name is Sonal Patel, and this is the Paint the Medical Picture podcast series. Now, all right, you guys, let's get right into today. Today's Newsworthy update is going to involve a big federal court case ruling that affects the independent dispute resolution process, the IDR process. And in my compliance tips and recommendations today in Trusty Tip, I'm going to stress the importance of compliance program guidances. And of course, I'll go ahead and close out today's episode in Spark with a remarkable quote on success by Vera Wang. If you guys have checked me out on LinkedIn, you know I'm all about compliance and protecting our physicians and our valued healthcare professionals when it comes to the business of medicine. I hope this week with me brings you enough to take back to your organizations or to dive in deeper to use my tips and best practices to ensure success. I hope this podcast will help you boost the quality of documentation capture and improve your coding accuracy as you help all your providers paint the medical picture. If you like what you're hearing, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss another episode. Please write in a review and kindly drop me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, and definitely start following the podcast on Spotify and Amazon Music and Google Podcasts. It's everywhere. I'd really love all of your continued support. And as always, a friendly disclaimer. Remember, I'm bringing you the news, current healthcare industry news, my compliance tips and my compliance recommendations based on my over 13 years of experience in front office, in back end, in coding, and in billing for multi-specialty physicians, in compliance, and in auditing for both E&M and surgical operative reports. These are my opinions alone and are not to be construed as legal advice.
Today's episode is sponsored by Advanced Coding Services, a leading medical billing and medical coding school in the United States. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned professional, our training equips you with the tools and support you need to advance your career. Our medical billing and coding school meets your needs worldwide online or in person with one-on-one support throughout your training. We are committed to helping our alumni and credentialed medical community in keeping up their certifications by offering various avenues for acquiring your continuing education units. In addition to our Mastering the Business of Medicine retreats offered several times throughout the year in different parts of the country, we now offer memberships. You can conveniently earn your CEUs by attending our exclusive members-only webinars. Since our aim is to nurture and grow the careers of individuals who work in the business of medicine, we call our member area the Apple Orchard. Advanced Coding Services, educate, nurture, inspire, reaching back with a hand up.
So let's get into Newsworthy. Now, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services temporarily halted the Federal Independent Dispute Resolution process, the IDR process, after a very favorable federal Texas court ruling to providers on August 3rd, 2023. Now, in summary, the court ruled that the administrative fee of a non-refundable $350 each for each party that would be expected to pay is considered unlawful. And the court also ruled that the regulation that limits batching claims with identical billing codes, those are our HCPCS codes and our CPT codes, is unlawful. Now, CMS has since, after August 3rd, put up yet another online notice that reads, quote, effective August 8th, 2023, the departments have directed certified IDR entities to resume processing single and bundled disputes initiated in 2022, as well as single and bundled payments initiated in 2023, where the administrative fees have been paid, or the deadline for collecting fees expired before August 3rd, 2023. Additionally, the departments have directed certified IDR entities to resume processing batched disputes where the IDR entity is determined that the batched dispute was eligible and administrative fees have been paid, or the deadline for collecting fees expired before August 3rd, 2023. Processing of other disputes remains temporarily suspended, end quote. And now it's time for my best practice tips in Trusty Tip. So in today's compliance tip, I wanted to stress the importance of compliance. The OIG has developed CPGs or compliance
program guidances since way back in 1998, and many of these have not been updated in a long time. Now, the OIG had developed these series of voluntary compliance program guidances, these documents that were directed to various segments of the healthcare industry, such as hospitals, nursing homes, third-party billers, as well as durable medical equipment suppliers, to encourage the development and the internal controls to monitor adherence to applicable statutes, applicable regulations, as well as program requirements. And then in the spring of 2023, just a few months ago, the OIG did announce their plans to improve and update existing CPGs, as well as to deliver new CPGs specific to segments of the healthcare industry or entities involved in the healthcare industry that have emerged in recent years, so new technologies and the like. Now, in modernizing the OIG's CPGs, their goal is to produce useful, informative resources as timely as possible to help advance the industry's voluntary compliance efforts in preventing fraud, waste, and abuse in the healthcare system. Their existing CPGs and supplemental CPGs will remain available for use as an ongoing resource as they develop and publish these new guidances. So please be mindful, if you are an accepting Medicare as a payer to your practice, as well as if you're accepting Medicaid as a payer to your practice, as well as other government payers, the significance of a compliance program is huge. So it really is a roadmap, in my belief, for the who, what, when, where, why, and how that your practice is run. And finally, I focus Season 9 Spark on success. I want this 9th season Spark to be filled with our world's thought leaders, writers, artists, philosophers, everyone who inspires the need for success in all we strive to do. So, in this week's inspiring quote in Spark is from Vera Wang. Success isn't about the end result. It's about what you learn along the way. So very true, right? I think this quote inspires us to keep learning, to keep growing. I think this quote reminds us that our education doesn't just stop once school days are over. This quote reminds us that we are forever learners. Our success is so much more than money and things, cars and expensive vacations. Success is also about the knowledge we gain day after day, year after year. I'm happy Vera Wang's spark still shines on in all of us today. So that wraps up today's episode, and as always, I appreciate you guys diving into today with me. If you want more information from me, please go ahead and follow me on LinkedIn. I'll leave links to everything in the show notes below. Now, I just wanted to remind you guys, keep that mental health in check, right? Carve out time for yourselves each and every day to stay sane and steady and strong. Wish you guys all an amazing week ahead. Thank you guys so much for listening on today's episode, and I hope every week with me brings you closer to helping your providers paint a masterpiece. See you next Wednesday.